So Reese told me he was a catcher at Baylor, but it had nothing to do with baseball.
And somewhere in New Jersey, a Puerto Rican family is missing their curtains, JP.
Since it's already decided, Jimmy, I just want to say that was the most pathetic performance I've ever seen in my entire life, and I'm embarrassed to even know you, and you are fired from working on the show.
I think he lost a roast battle and lost his job.
Damn.
That's a loss. You're done, Jimmy. That was bad.
This is the craziest. I see why we only sold 38 tickets.
Her about her boyfriend, he's a detransitioner to Able Garcia.
Hold on, your boyfriend used to be a woman?
Yeah, he turned to Christ and went back to God by love.
Okay. Yo, this show is too heavy. I didn't come here for this. I'm gonna make $38 tonight. You think I fucking came here to hear this shit about some guy she dates that used to be a bitch and now he want his dick back because he went to church and caught the Holy Ghost? Huh?
At least he didn't have bottom surgery.
What's bottom surgery, bitch? I ain't know there was a bottom surgery.
He didn't cut his dick off yet.
Oh, he did cut his dick off.
I'm so fly, I'm aligned with the planes. My grind so refined, I got no time for no games. Ask yourself why would I make time for you lames? At all costs, cause I'm a boss. I'll break them off, yeah, gotta break them off.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Prime Time with Alex Stein. I'm your host, Alejandro Stein, and we have a very special guest, the one, the only Jimmy Dore, joining us to talk about, not just the conflict in Israel, not just the conflict in Ukraine, but to tell us the inside scoop on the drama that's happening with the Young Turks right now. And you guys know that I am one of Shank's, or am I saying it right? Shank's arch nemesis, and so is Jimmy Dore. So him and I are going to team up, and tonight we're taking down the Young Turks once and for all. They will not exist by the time this program is done. Now, we have to get into the drama real quick. Is Jimmy ready? I know we got to do the ad reads, but is Jimmy ready?
Yeah, he's ready.
Okay, let me just do the ad reads and we'll bring Jimmy right on. All right, guys, we got a great new sponsor. We all know how important lean supply chains are right now. Increasingly, our beef industry is dominated by the big four meat packers, which are backed by corrupt BlackRock and Chinese money and manipulate the beef market. Now, I want to tell you about a new America First beef company that just launched a meat processing plant in South Dakota. Their name is Farmer Bill's. I feel like I have to talk country for this, Jimmy. Is that appropriate? Or
yes, that's very appropriate, actually.
And what they're selling isn't just beef, folks. It's beef biltong. Charcuterie slabs. The slabs are like a massive dry-aged ribeye with marbled fat, and a $1 bundle ships for free. Use code ALEX for 10%. Bundle ships for free. Use code ALEX for 10% off today. And what was that? Wait, what's that one flavor? The chili garlic? What flavor is that, Jimmy?
There's spicy chili bison.
Get some of that. Somebody right now order some of that spicy chili bison. And I want you to take a short video of you eating it and send it to me on Twitter, or post it on Twitter or Instagram, and I will reshare it and use promo code ALEX. Somebody needs to do a review of the spicy chili bison ASAP. That is not that's an order. That's a direct order. That's not just a recommendation. That is a call to action. All right, now our next ad. We love this company.
I forgot to it accidentally copied over the Steve Baker version of it, so let's just go to the regular part.
All right, guys, so many of us have a sluggish fatty liver that makes us gain weight and lose energy. For decades now, your liver has helped you with over 500 key functions every single day. Like doing journalism while storming the Capitol. It's time you help your liver. There is a solution. It's called Liver Health Formula. It's an all-natural supplement that helps recharge and protect your liver. So if you're looking to ignite your fat-burning metabolism, boost your energy, and transform how you look and feel, try Liver Health Formula. When you do, you receive a free bottle of our blood sugar formula to reduce those sugar cravings. You get that free when you order today. Try Liver Health Formula by going to getliverhelp.com/Alex and claim your free bonus gift. That's getliverhelp.com/Alex. All right. Thank you, guys. Go support our sponsors. We love them. But you know who I love the most? I love this next guy because he's a free speech warrior. He's a truly unbiased commentator. And that's why I respect him so much, because even though him and I don't agree on everything, even though we do probably agree on most things, I love that he's able to speak freely and speak the truth, even if it gets him hate within, I guess, his own crowd. So let's bring on the one, the only, Jimmy Dore. Jimmy, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Alex. Great to be with you. Thanks for having me on. I like the hat. Are you getting hair plugs?
I know. My hair looks terrible. I'm having a bad hair day, but look at this. It's receding, Jimmy. I'm freaking out. I'm about to go to Turkey. I'm thinking about going to Turkey and having them put some of my derriere hair implants. I think, is that what they do? Do they take the hair from my back, my lower back, my butt area, and I think they put it in my head?
Yep, that's true. It would be great content.
Yes, I'm getting my hair transplant done by the guys from Jackass, and they're going to take it from my pubes.
Yeah, see, then my pubes, they will not. They are so damn long. If that hair was right there, it would be. I would look like Fabio. Okay, Jim. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jimmy. What were you going to say?
I would look like if mine was there. I would look like Larry from the Three Stooges.
Was Larry the bald one, or which one is Larry?
No, he get that big bozo haircut. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
And it's so funny. I've watched the Three Stooges a million times. I don't even know their names. Is that sad that society now, we don't even know, three of the most comedic legends of all time, Curly, Larry, and Moe?
That's it.
It's sad. I mean, most kids, you ask them who Howard Stern is, they don't know who he is. So what do you think about Howard Stern giving a softball interview to Kamala Harris, Jimmy?
Well, I think that next time they do an interview together, they should trade wigs. That's what I think they should do.
Now that's good.
I thought so Howard Stern just has fully morphed into the guy he used to make fun of. Don Imus wasn't that lame. When
Don was he was on a ranch, right? He was like a cowboy. He was not hiding from COVID in his basement.
That's correct. That is correct. I mean, that interview that they asked her about Raisin Bran. They were talking about Raisin Bran, and I'm like, the last thing you want to do is bring up Raisin Bran with Kamala Harris because she's already so full of shit. Anyway.
Now that is good, Jimmy. That is good. And of course, my idiot producer, Jimmy, who went to Princeton, was showing a picture of Kamala Harris and stepped on that really good joke. But we're still going to be able to clip that, Jimmy. And I want to say, Jimmy, thank you so much. Your clips on our show have been some of our most successful. I mean, they get hundreds of thousands of views. You're wildly popular. We know that you left the Young Turks. They're kind of imploding right now. How did you become such a lightning in a bottle? How did you catch that lightning in the bottle when you left and you went all on your own, Jimmy? Because you're on fire right now.
Well, it's a real weird trick. I decided to tell the truth and speak from my heart, and people kind of connect with that. Whereas the Young Turks took $20 million from Jeffrey Katzenberg, who now is a big owner of the Young Turks, although they'll lie to you and tell you that that was a loan that they paid off. That's not what that was. Jeffrey Katzenberg, now they have a corporate board, and they now have several people from several different private equity firms that sit on their corporate board. So Cenk just made up a lie one day when he was on Rising and said, oh, we paid that back. That wasn't a loan. That was them buying into your company. Anyway, so that's how I did it. What they did was they started to say things that would appeal to another donor. Just like a politician, Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian started to think of what would appeal to another donor, which is why they smeared Julian Assange, which is why they smeared the anti-war journalists at the Gray Zone, which is why they did a fake hashtag Me Too against me, which nobody believed because they told totally different stories. And if anybody was sexually harassed there, it was me, because Anna Kasparian couldn't stop flashing her junk in the studio. But so that was my. That was my secret to success, is to go on YouTube and just speak from the heart. And turns out people connected with me.
No, and you're on fire. And, seeing Anna Kasparian naked, I don't know. That doesn't sound like that bad of a gig. Real quick, and I don't want to talk about the Young Turks all the time, but I want to play this clip because the reason why I asked is, do you think they're imploding? I do see a division between Anna and Cenk, and I think that Hasan, Cenk's cousin, is causing a lot of this. We put together a little montage of Anna's kind of most recent flare-up. So let's play this, and I want to get your instant reaction.
The majority of the left wing is perfectly reasonable on this.
Are they?
You give those tiny little leftist streamers way too much
They're
credit.
not tiny little leftist streamers, Cenk. Hasan called the city council member racist for helping this woman.
Did you know Jimmy Kimmel featured one of Hasan's tweets on last night's show?
I know, everyone loves Hasan. He's super famous and rich. We got it. Like, why the fuck fuck didn't I just play video games? Why the fuck didn't I just play video games? Maybe I'd be a fucking millionaire if I did that. God damn it.
Anna Kasparian. Anna says, I did make that comment about Hasan because he's a POS who throws family under the bus to appease the rabid mob in his audience.
Wait, what? I don't make things up, but my point is that this stuff turns people off. It's not really controversial. The bonus hole.
The transgender community is important. However, when you move out of or move far away from making sure that they are not denied housing, making sure that they're not denied healthcare, when you move into like these more fringe areas, an LGBTQ group in the UK who suggested that instead of referring to vaginas as vaginas because it might be offensive to transgender men,
yeah, this kind of stuff I hate so much. Again, it's always like marginal shit. Like, who cares?
What's happening? It sounds like there's, trouble brewing.
There sounds like it. Yeah, it's I think it's fantastic. I love to listen to. That's Cenk's nephew, by the way, Hasan.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, very familiar. I'm just saying, is she that jealous? Anna sounds so jealous, and she, why is she so jealous? I mean, I guess because Hasan's much more successful and richer than her.
I think it's because she does have a vagina, and she doesn't have the balls of a meathead like Hasan Piker to go out and do her own show. Why does she not go out? I don't understand why those people stay there. Why wouldn't you go out and do your own show? Why would you sit there and have a boss your whole life? Why would you sit there and have a corporate board? Why would you sit there and have a human resource department? Why would you do all that stuff? Because she doesn't believe in herself. So that's her being angry at someone who's more successful than her, which is that's her MO. She's angry that I was more successful than her. She's angry that I was always more successful than her. I had a career before I ever came to the Young Turks. I was already had Comedy Central specials that were chosen Best of the Year by iTunes, won awards, and I was already on every late night talk show. I was already had a fully formed life and a career when I came to the Young Turks, and then I just smoked right past them. And she doesn't have the balls to do what you need to do, which is go out and do it by yourself. She's got a camera. She's got access to YouTube. Why does she need to get in her car and drive to a studio that was paid for by Jeffrey Katzenberg so she could do the exact same thing she could do at her own house? Why? Because she doesn't have the confidence in herself. Why? And I think it's real because she did try to do her own show. It was for that Jacobin magazine, and nobody watched. Nobody watched. They barely got 1,000 views per video. So I think she found out that nobody really gives a shit about her, and the only reason that anybody listens to anything she says is because she's on the Young Turks platform, which was an important platform on the left at one time. But right now it's not. Cenk Uygur is just a corporate whore, like the politicians he tries to skewer. He's just a partisan hack and a liar. And that's why he ends up smearing people like Aaron Mate and anti-war journalists and people like Julian Assange. They still have that video up where he said Julian Assange is not to be trusted. So that's the kind of journalism you get over at I don't understand why anybody watches the Young Turks, because there's already MSNBC and CNN, and they have much better production values.
You nailed it. Why would you even need them? And they do actually make probably a better program at MSNBC. Well, we'll get back to them. I want to play a clip of something of Cenk and I's, but I want to get to you real quick because, Jimmy, I really respect you so much for speaking the truth. And this is what I hate. Is that everybody thinks, oh, Stein, this and that, you can't comment on the conflict in Israel, Palestine, and you mention it, and it's so divisive. But why is it anti-Semitic to say I don't want Palestinian children to die?
Well, that's the funny thing, I have a lot of Zionist friends. I don't cut them out of my life, just like I had a lot of friends who Russiagated. I have a lot of friends who are for the Ukraine war. I don't cut them out of my life. I try to engage with them and try to change their mind. And they've conflated being anti-Zionist with being anti-Semitic. And those, the two people who do that, Zionists do that, and people who are anti-Semites. They conflate being Jewish with Zionists. So those are two totally separate things. You can be against the state of Israel, you can be against Zionism, and you can still be pro-Jewish people. In fact, a lot of Jewish people are. You know who are the most anti-Semitic people? The Zionists. Zionists fucking hate the Hasidic Jews, who most of them are against the Zionism and the Israel project. They think it's a heresy. So I've had Zionists try to convince me to go along with the Israel on this by saying things like, Jimmy, I know you support the gay community. You know who doesn't? Hamas. Hamas doesn't like gay people. What do you say to that? And I say, oh, I guess we should slaughter their children.
I mean, I think that's a fair statement, and I do bring that up. I joke about gays for Palestine. I mean, obviously Hamas. I'm not like some pro-Hamas person, but everybody's like, you see these man on the street interviews, and all the Israelis say they want to kill us. The Palestinians want to kill us, but it's like you want to kill them too, just as bad. I mean, you guys, but they want to kill you. You want to kill them. There's no sort of misconception of what they want for each other. They both want to kill each other. So when they say, "Oh, you want to kill me," it seems very hypocritical.
Well, the difference is Israel has 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs, Apache helicopters, and F-16s, and the Palestinians have hang gliders and Nike gym shoes and Adidas sweats.
And pagers.
And they paid. So that'd be the difference. That's not really a war, right? It's kind of like when we went to war with Iraq. It wasn't really two armies competing. That's what you really need to have a real war.
I think that's fair, and obviously I don't want anybody to die. I don't want Israelis to die. I don't want Palestinians to die, but it just sucks that I'm anti-war, and I'm going to be voting for Donald Trump, but I fully believe that if he wins, which I don't think that they'll let him win, he's going to send us to war with Iran, and that makes me upset that I'm going to potentially vote for a guy that's going to guarantee us a war if he gets into office. So how do I justify that to myself? Am I having no integrity? Like, talk to me as a friend, Jimmy, on I mean, I don't know if you're voting for Trump, but does that make me a hypocrite because I want Trump to be president, even though I know that we will get in World War III if he becomes the president?
I don't know. I'll let you wrestle with your own conscience on that. But what I will say is that there's a big case to be made that Donald Trump is the lesser of two evil in this contest.
I agree. Sorry to cut you off. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Donald Trump at least wants to protect the American worker and have a sane immigration policy. He wants to actually end the war in Ukraine. And so, as Tucker Carlson said just last night, the reason why Dick Cheney and George Bush and all the neocons and the CIA people are supporting Kamala Harris is because they're afraid that Donald Trump will do one less war than Kamala Harris. And so that's so he's just that little bit less evil. That's what, I've told people, or I've heard that, Donald Trump, I've asked people like, why didn't he do any wars when he was president? He's the only president in modern history that didn't do any war. And someone gave me some really good insight. They go, yeah, Donald Trump is evil, but he's New York real estate evil, which is totally different than deep state neocon evil. That's the kind where you slaughter people for profit. He's just wiping out people in business. He might short, a contractor or go to, or inflate the price of his properties to get a better deal. He's not going to go kill people. And he had a real hard time calling up the Gold Star families and telling them that their kid got killed. And that's why he has an aversion to actual war. So that's what I've been told. So, and he's all about, he really does want credit for the deals. And so when I was talking with Chris Hedges about this, I'm like, well, there's a reason why they're trying to kill him and they're not trying to kill Kamala. There's a reason why the CIA lied for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris with the Hunter Biden laptop, and they didn't lie for Donald Trump. There's a reason why the intelligence community and the corporate media went along with Russiagate, and they didn't do anything comparable to Joe Biden or Kamala. There's a reason why. So there's got to be a reason, and that reason is what Tucker Carlson said, is that Donald Trump is less of a warmonger than they are. And Donald Trump has this crazy idea that the president is supposed to control the Pentagon and the intelligence community. And that's what Russiagate was all about, to let him know, no, you don't control the intelligence community and you don't control the Pentagon. We know that we found out that they were lying to him. The generals in the Pentagon lied to him about troop deployment and when he was withdrawing them and all that stuff. So that's the real treason, not the treason, the fake treason of Trump colluding with Putin. The real treason was the Pentagon and the intelligence community. By the way, the FBI lied to the FISA court 17 times. 17 times. so they could tap Donald Trump's campaign's phone. And they lied, and they got the taps, and they still couldn't find a crime that they could the reason why he got impeached the first time was because he paused shipments of arms to Ukraine. That's why they impeached him. So so you wrestle with your own conscience on that, but the case can be made, and I'll make that case that he's definitely the lesser of two evil.
And I agree with that 100%. And I am going to be voting for Donald Trump. I just hate that. I know he will put us in less wars, but I just think it's inevitable that we're going to be fighting in the Middle East. And you were very anti-war. We know 9/11, was basically a fraud that got us in a never-ending war in the Middle East for trillions of dollars for the military-industrial complex that didn't benefit the American citizens. And then on top of that, 22 veterans are committing suicide every single day. So, I mean, it's just disgusting. That's what makes me mad is, Jimmy, everybody wants to talk about abortion. Everybody wants to talk about tampons in the boys' restrooms. I'm not saying those aren't important things, but why hasn't one candidate, or Kamala Harris, you bring up the Gold Star families, why aren't they campaigning like we're going to help our veterans? I mean, they love to talk about the war in Ukraine. They love to talk about the war in the Middle East. They love to talk about war, but they don't talk about the soldiers. Does that just kind of show you that they don't care, or why is that in your opinion?
Oh, obviously they don't care. Well, first of all, they don't have their own mind. They don't have their own thoughts. They're fed their thoughts by their donors. Kamala Harris, who, by the way, is you have to respect her. She's a strong woman. She stands up to the haters. She's a real queen. And by a queen, I mean a monarch installed by the elite without any votes from the public. I mean, that's where Hillary screwed up. She went and did a primary. She answered questions from reporters and regular citizens. A queen doesn't have to do that. I mean, to go to these shithole states that nobody's ever heard of, Iowa, that's a real place. You could be making that up for all I know. I just love that the donor class just installed her they took 14 million votes in the primary, completely tossed them out, and then took someone that is just as repulsive to the electorate as Hillary Clinton was and made her the nominee. It was the most undemocratic thing that's ever happened in this country, and it was amazing, wasn't it?
It was, but I want to debunk a conspiracy. A lot of people think that Kamala Harris staged a coup to make Joe Biden step down. That's not true. Once Joe Biden got diagnosed with COVID and he couldn't smell little children anymore, that's the real reason that he dropped out, Jimmy, is that he couldn't. No, that's a dumb joke, but I got to make you laugh. I'm happy you actually did laugh. Now, what about this candidate? She's been in the game for a long time, and you like her. I like her. She's been very gracious to me. Jill Stein. Do we have the Jill Stein? Saw it, Jimmy?
Yep, we'll pull that up right now.
And it's a short one. It's like 10 seconds, but I thought this was so funny. But Jill Stein, no relation to me. She came on my program. She's very gracious. But is she a kook? And I love her. I'm just saying, is it because she's a doctor and she's always running for president? Or is she legit, in your opinion? I think she's legit, but you'd know better than me.
So Jill Stein, I was her friendliest media outlet. She came on my show many times between 2015 and 2020. And I was always friendly with her. I always gave her a fair hearing. I supported a lot of the same positions that she supported. And then something happened this time around. It became clear to me in 2020 that the Green Party has been completely infiltrated and co-opted by the establishment and the intelligence community. And I say that the Green Party is not they're an LGBTQ organization that dabbles in environmentalism. They were horrible on COVID. They were anti-worker. They were anti-freedom. They're pro-censorship. They're pro-mandating emergency experimental medical treatments on people. They were just the exact opposite of what they're supposed to be. So they've been completely infiltrated. I don't have a personal qualm with Jill Stein. Jill Stein has avoided me. She doesn't want to come on my show anymore because she doesn't want to answer a question of why she recommended Peter Dow, who came right from the Clinton campaign, right from the deep state, to be the campaign manager for Cornel West. She recommended him, and then she said, well, I didn't know who he was, which of course we know was a lie because he was her biggest attack dog in 2016. So of course she doesn't want to answer any of those questions, and those questions reveal that the Green Party is co-opted, and that's sad. But tip of the hat to her. She's got the right policy, I think, on Palestine, and she calls out Israel. And so, I'll work with anybody to do right and nobody to do wrong. And so, I mean, I don't want to punch down too hard on Jill Stein. Stein and the Green Party, but it's just there's a reason why they haven't grown past 5% when the majority of America wants a third party. There's a reason why they haven't grown, and that's because that party's been infiltrated and co-opted. And if you want to vote for Jill Stein, more power to you. I think it's important, just like Shama Sawant, to stop the Democrats from winning. We have to make them pay a price because they betrayed us. They betrayed their own democratic values. They have morphed completely into the party of Dick Cheney and George Bush, which we all rejected. And now, but they all the people who vote Democrat embrace that stuff now. And it's like they're voting for it's. I saw a tweet today that was very funny, and I'll paraphrase it. It said Democrat people who vote for Kamala are like, yeah, I'm going to vote for a Holocaust, but I hate it more than you.
Exactly. No, and that is a good point that they still vote for, but this is what pisses me off, though, with the Green Party. You know, they don't have a chance to win. You're right about the, I like, her stance on Israel. I think, she doesn't want young Palestinian children to die. But you're right, with the COVID and the lockdowns, they were the absolute worst. But I didn't realize that Jill Stein is afraid of you. Let's just play that SOT real quick. What SOT number is it, Jimmy?
SOT
Jimmy,
3.
sorry, my producer,
It's
Jimmy.
great.
SOT 3. Let's play SOT 3.
I can call you Dr. Stein.
You can call me Jill.
Now,
For you?
a lot of people want me to ask you, they said that, how do you think you could be a good president because you don't have any experience being corrupt or killing people?
It's true, and I don't have experience.
See, that was you being nice. Do you think Jill Stein is she married? What's her love life like, do you think?
Oh, you know what? I'm not sure, but I know she's very wealthy. She's worth at least $10-20 million. So I would be excited, but I'm already married, so I'm already happy, and I even have a dog. So I'm not on the market. I don't even know. I'm not even on a dating app or anything.
She was hitting on you, and she said, "Call me Jill," and that was all. She was hitting on you. She liked a little Jimmy Dore right there. Okay, we talked enough about the politics. Now, tell us what's going on. You're constantly touring the country, Jimmy. How do you have the energy to do that? And do you stream 4 days a week or 5 days a week?
So we do about 30 clips a week. We do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we do about 3 hours each of those days, and that usually amounts to about 30 different videos that we drop a week. And then I also tour. I'll be in Tempe, Arizona. We have a special celebrity guest going to be on that. I can't say who it is, but you know him, you love him, and he's from SNL, but I'm not going to say who it is. And then also, I'm going to be doing a tour of Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, Cincinnati, Columbus, and Dayton. That's coming up in November. So go to jimmydore.com and only jimmydore.com, because other places will charge you more money. The least expensive
resale tickets. The scalper is always trying to resell it. Go to jimmydore.com. But we have you for a few more minutes. I want to ask you this. They think it's a guy that started this company, Glenn Beck's, in some hot water. He shared some clips saying they're manipulating the weather. That's not a conspiracy. They have cloud seeding technology. I mean, I think this is open. Why are they going after people for saying that they're manipulating the weather? Do you think that's what they're doing?
Well, do you want to play the clip?
Let's play the clip,
yeah,
Jimmy. My
that.
producer, Jimmy. Sorry, I'll call him JVT. Let's play the clip.
About climate change yesterday, and now we're learning that scientists and researchers are looking at how to change the weather on purpose. That's right. Lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see you. Extraordinary seeing Al Gore and Bill Clinton there together with Charlie, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, they did not get into this discussion, though. But it is fascinating. I mean, lasers, really, to change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far, it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning.
That sounds pretty intense, that they can use trillion-watt lasers to make rain fall out of the sky. Are we tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists for saying that the government could create some sort of geoengineered weather to make it look bad in order to usher in a climate change agenda?
You're saying that scientists have figured out how to manipulate the weather? What are you, Micho Cuckoo? Are you? Come on. Yeah, what I think is funny is how they try to make you think like you're some kind of crazy conspiracy theorist when they've all talked about it on their news shows already. I mean, that's just one TV news show that I'm sure all of them have had segments on how they're doing cloud seeding, as they call that, and they try to I've seen testimonies back as far as the late 50s that they were already working on this and had plans for that. And there was I don't know the veracity of it, but I saw a colonel talk about how they did this in Vietnam and how they washed out some of the roads. I mean, I've seen those videos. I don't know. Again, I can't attest to the veracity of them, but this isn't anything new. They've been working on this for a long, long time, and to the point where they have a scientist talking about it on corporate news. That means they've been working at it for a very long time. And so. But they have to make people think it's crazy, just like they had to make you think that it was a real vaccine. They had to make you think that, even though they had to change the definition in the goddamn dictionary of what a vaccine is, and then you're crazy if you think it's not. And then they have to tell you that, no, of course you catch the disease that you've been vaccinated for.
Yeah, testing positive means it's working. Yes, testing positive for COVID means it works. Yes.
Yeah, just Jimmy. Like how we all got polio after we got the polio vaccine. You know that which just lessens your symptoms.
That doesn't sound right. That's weird. Okay, but actually, I want to go back to the real quick. You said Vietnam War, and I've watched some documentaries, but I just remember in Forrest Gump that it rained and rained and rained, and then it stopped raining. So maybe they were manipulating the weather because Forrest Gump wouldn't lie. Is that a good theory? Is that accurate in your opinion?
I think that's just as solid as anything I've heard from Anderson Cooper lately. That's for sure.
Well, we know he's a CIA plant. Okay, and then look at this. We want to pray for the victims of Florida. I don't know if you saw this. I think it's full screen one, Jimmy. Look at this. This whole building's upside down in Florida. Can you believe this?
How? Oh my God.
I know. We got to pray for Florida.
That's not a movie set. That's real.
It's a Ripley's Believe It or Not, but I think it really did get flipped upside down from the storm. So let's pray for all the people out there in Florida. Jimmy, what should we expect? Trump wins, there's going to be chaos. Trump loses, there's going to be chaos. I know that you're not clairvoyant, but where do you see this country heading in 30 days or a little less than 30 days? We won't know the results probably for a couple weeks after. Everybody's seems like they're acting calm. I think the shit is about to hit the metaphorical fan, and a bunch of weird stuff's going to happen in the next couple months. And I hope I'm wrong, but I have a strong inkling that might be a possibility in the near future.
Well, I think people are waking up to the fact that our country's run by a handful, a cabal of billionaires for their own interests. And the proof of it is when Kamala Harris is so dense that she brags about sending hundreds of millions of dollars to Lebanon for humanitarian aid in the middle of Hurricane Helene, when people aren't getting the aid and the relief that they need from their own. Again, it's the same thing over and over. They're putting migrants up in hotels while veterans are sleeping under bridges. People are starting to catch on. We're funding both sides of the war in Lebanon. We're giving billions of dollars to Israel to bomb them, and then we're going to send hundreds of millions of dollars in economic aid. People are catching on that we're hollowing out our own country, and we're sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. Imagine if we sent hundreds of billions of dollars to America. Imagine what we could have in America for just $100 billion. It's amazing. They say you could end homelessness for $20 billion. I don't know if that's true, but let's say it is. So for $100 billion, they could have ended homelessness, then started it again, then said, hey, we were just kidding, and then ended it again. They also could have bought a dog that would lead Joe Biden off stage when he's done giving his speech. There's so many things we could have bought with that $100 billion. But anyway, I think people are catching on. What's going to happen after the election is if Kamala Harris wins and Trump loses, is, I bet you Trump supporters say that the election was stolen, and then they're going to try to overthrow the government again, but they're all going to forget to bring their guns again. I bet they were embarrassed that first time. They didn't bring guns, but they did bring mittens, and you know how lethal those can be. Really, a bunch of guys in pajama bottoms and buffalo helmets stealing a podium. I'm overthrowing the government. They were just pissed off protesters. I can't believe the propaganda in America is the most propagandized people in the world are Americans. And the fact that they don't think they're a victim of propaganda shows you how good. That's when you know it's good propaganda.
Yeah, I know. When I saw patriots smoking weed inside the Capitol, I really thought they were going to be able to overtake it. You know, they were more worried about getting, their munchies satisfied than they were. And they were able to reconvene in 3 hours and certify the election. So that's what pisses me off the most, is that the fact that they can just pretend like it's the last. It's as bad as 9/11, which is absolutely absurd. Okay, and then one last thing, Jimmy, we wanted to react to the.
Actually, I just need Jimmy Dore's take on Lieutenant Dan.
Oh yes, we wanted to ask you this guy. What do you think about this, Lieutenant Dan? I'm sure you saw that he was refusing to leave Tampa, and then now it's come out that he's been arrested nearly 24 times. And one of those arrests, Jimmy, he lit a woman on fire.
Yeah, can I just read?
Yeah,
the
read
official,
some of them for Mr. Dore, please.
Yeah. So it says a disturbing incident came last February. A woman reported she had gotten in an argument with Malinowski, who had been sitting on a concrete bench. During the argument, Malinowski allegedly approached the woman and poured gasoline on the bench directly to where she was sitting and set it alight. The argument continued to escalate, and the woman, who was smoking a cigarette, said Malinowski then splashed her with gas in an attempt to light her on fire. She called 911, grabbed Malinowski's crutches, because this dude has one leg, to prevent him from using them as weapons or escaping before help could arrive.
Is he a good guy or bad guy, Jimmy?
I'll just put it this way. I'm betting that he'll be in Congress pretty soon. That's what it sounds like.
Okay, and then let's show the Cenk thing, and then I want to ask one last question. The Cenk, I went and I called him a transgender. It went super viral. Now Piers Morgan won't have me on. So you're a regular guest on Piers. Is that correct, Jimmy, or am I wrong? Have you not been a regular guest on that program? I think I see you all the time.
I've been regularly invited on that show. I went on once, and I think it's a pretty big waste of time.
Is Piers Morgan a waste of time? Because, dude, he tries to act like he's some great journalist, yet he was selling gossip magazine, tabloid magazines. I mean, and he just gets on people there to fight, which is a great, actually, concept, because you don't have to do any heavy lifting as the broadcaster if you just have two people yelling at each other. So, in your personal opinion, Piers Morgan, is he a fraud? Is he a joke? I like that. I didn't realize that you were anti-Piers Morgan, and I tend to agree, because they're going to never let me on the show because I made fun of Cenk. So I'm on Team Jimmy Dore.
No, I mean, I think he's just your fastball down the middle corporate journalist who gets every story wrong. He was wrong about Ukraine, Russiagate, wrong about COVID. He's wrong about Israel, Palestine. Is there a thing he hasn't been wrong about? Of course. If he got stuff right, they'd fire him. That's what happens. You know that. They didn't fire Tucker Carlson because he was lying about the Ukraine war. They fired him because he was telling the truth about it. Assange wasn't in prison because he lied about the war machine. It's because he told the truth about it. So Snowden isn't cast out of the country because he lied about the intelligence community. It's because he told the truth about it. So you get in trouble when you tell it. So the fact that he's wrong about everything means he'll have a job forever. Just like Chris Wallace.
Yeah, Chris Wallace sucks. Those guys do have a job. They just, toe the company line, don't do anything controversial. And like you said, can you imagine Roseanne Barr has a hit comedy show, the #1 show on ABC. They kill her character off with a drug overdose. Tucker Carlson has the #1 late night show, a commentating show on all of cable. They kick them off. So if these companies cared about making money or being #1, they would keep these employees for telling the truth and becoming #1, not firing them. So that's a strong point. Now, last thing, this is kind of in the weeds.
But you just skipped over the whole point with your 10-second clip of Cenk Uygur.
Are we going to play the clip real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, let's play the clip. Let's play it. We didn't even have to play the clip. You're just going to show a screenshot, Jimmy? Okay, so this is me. I mean, I think Jimmy's seen the clip. I've
seen this.
Yes, we've seen this. So.
Right-wing lunatic.
Yeah, I love that clip. That clip got millions of views. Okay, now, I know you got to go. This is our last thing. Tim Pool, everybody thinks I'm so crazy, and I am crazy. I think 9/11's an inside job. I think the moon landing's fake. I think vaccines are goofy. I think a lot of weird stuff. one of my weirdest theories that I have is that I don't tend to ascribe to the heliocentric model. I watched this documentary called The Principle, and it talks about geocentrism, and it kind of shows that they took this thing called the cosmic microwave background, a picture of our universe and the Earth, the center of it, yada, yada, yada. That's too deep. We don't have to get into the woods. But Tim Pool wants to send me on a trip, and this is why I ask you, to Antarctica for this thing called this Antarctic Expedition Group. And Tim Pool said he was going to fully pay for me to go, and I'm going to go with some scientists. And what I would do is I would fly from DFW to Santiago, Chile. Santiago, Chile, a 6-hour flight, I think, to Punta Arenas. Then from Punta Arenas, I would get on a Boeing 757 and fly 4.5 hours to Union Glacier, which is at the tip of Antarctica, and I would land on ice. Now, everybody's calling me a pussy because I'm scared to go. Should I go, Jimmy? Because I want your opinion. I respect your opinion. I think you'll answer it honestly. How it works is why we want to go to Antarctica, and Bill Nye the Science Guy and Neil deGrasse Tyson are actually going the next week, because in our winter, it is their summer. So what the sun does is it does a weird thing where it makes a full circle around Antarctica. You'll see it go. You'll see it in front of you, and then you'll see it behind you. Now, if you don't see that observation, which every video they have of it, it's always like edited or it looks weird. If you wouldn't see that observation, then it would kind of debunk the heliocentric model, because the sun is supposed to do exactly what it does in the north. It just does a quick circle, because like the sun kind of through the year, it kind of widens out. It goes like this. Long story short, he wants me to go there to prove the shape of the earth. Is the government going to kill me if I get on a plane flying to Antarctica, Jimmy? Is that the stupidest thing in the world?
Well, I don't know about that, but I think the scariest part of that is your last leg. You're going to take a Boeing 757. I wouldn't get on a Boeing. That I would cancel it for that reason.
Wait, you fly every weekend. You get on Boeings. A lot of people make fun of me because I fly on Boeings. I fly Southwest all the time. But I prefer Spirit because they do all Airbuses. They don't have a Boeing in their fleet. So I like Spirit. And Airbus is what they call fly-by-wire, folks. So if you're nervous, just look up fly-by-wire. That means in the plane, they have a computer. And in that computer, they type in the exact coordinates of where they need to go, what mileage. And the pilots don't even necessarily have to land it or even take it off. It has auto takeoff and it has auto land if you have a fly-by-wire plane. So look that up. That's why Spirit Airlines can only pay their pilots like 50 cents an hour, because it's all done by computer.
I'll be flying Spirit Airlines when I play Columbus, Ohio in November 12th. That's my airline there and back.
I love Spirit. We love Spirit. We love you, Jimmy. Is there anything that you want to leave us with before you go? And I really appreciate it. I know you're so busy. I know you're on fire. I think that you've grown, and obviously you said you were very successful before the Young Turks, but you've grown exponentially. And I think that your speech at the Freedom event that you recently did, where you called out a lot of people, I think that went viral. I just don't think there's anything stopping Jimmy Dore, because you speak your mind and you don't pull punches. And I want to try to be more like you. So I appreciate you being a person that I can look up to. No homo. Oh, I guess the last thing is Diddy. What's that? Is that a surprise that he's doing all that gay stuff with that baby oil? I guess we already knew that, right?
Yeah, I think the baby oil is to throw people off from the videotapes. That's what hey, everybody talk about that, but don't talk about, they didn't raid his house to find evidence. They raided his house to get rid of evidence.
Because you know he's a government fed. You know it. He beat up his girlfriend on tape and they didn't arrest him right then. So you know he's a fed. Jimmy, you always see through the BS. It's like that movie, They Live. You can put on the glasses and you can see all the real shit instead of all the fake government mandated corporate media bullshit. So thank you so much, Jimmy, for making time.
We can say my spirit will not rest until Malcolm Nance is safe in the veiny, muscular arms of Sean Penn.
And he went to the Ukraine, took some selfies, and you would think that he's a Vietnam veteran that faced combat. It's insane. These guys are so
also, Jimmy, I put on in the chat, I said, who's the favorite Jimmy? Jimmy Dore, Jimmy the producer, or Jimmy Seville? And I want to say that you won. You edged out Jimmy Seville. I'm somehow less liked than Jimmy Seville.
The world's worst pedophile.
Yes, that's pretty bad.
That's what they think about my producer, Jimmy.
Worried is when they don't run a hit piece on me for a while. So I just got an email from NBC News, a reporter who works for this.
I was supposedly plotting to do a bomb, and he's an ex-CIA employee that worked at the base in Kandahar or election site. So once a CIA, always CIA. Isn't that what they say, Jimmy?
That's what they say. Yeah, you can't get jumped out, club.
Well, Jimmy, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody go to jimmydore.com. Go to one of his latest shows. Jimmy kills it. Everybody in the crowd. You know, and Jimmy, this is the only one complaint is you do need to be like probably an 6th, 7th, 8th grade reading level because you are very smart. Do you ever worry that your joke sometimes it doesn't resonate because most people are, you know, they don't even know that we're in a war with Ukraine. You know, you ask most people who Kamala Harris is, I would say that probably 80% have no idea. Do you ever worry about that, or does your audience love you so much you don't even have to worry about hacking?
Yeah, no,
jokes?
I've attracted an audience that understands me, so that's so I don't care about most people. Most people are brainwashed and brain dead Stepford wives doing whatever the television tells them to do. Just look what happened during COVID. So, which is when I lost most of my friends in Hollywood because they're a bunch of brain dead, brainwashed Stepford asswipes. And, you know, I actually thought for myself, you know, that was the worst part about COVID when comedians would shame audiences, telling them not to do their own research. And, you know, before COVID, doing your own research just meant you were reading. And so that's how bad things have gotten in America, that comedians are shaming people for reading. Yeah, I don't worry about that at all. My audience is better, smarter, brighter. As Trump said, some of the best people. I have some of the best people in my audience.
They are the best, and you're the best. Jimmy, have a good one. Talk to you again soon. Keep up the good work. I really appreciate you coming on.
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks for having me.
Great job, Jimmy, booking Jimmy Dore. That was a great job. He's great. I don't know. Did he say anything? I thought he was, you know, sometimes he says some spicy stuff. I guess he had some vax spiciness, but he was on fire, Jimmy. What did you think?
No, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I love Jimmy Dore. He speaks his mind. I mean, he really called out the Young Turks. That was great. Okay, now we got to react to some junk. We already showed that terrorist, but what is this? What is SOT number 4?
Oh, that's the KU professor.
Oh, yeah, let's play this. Is this going to be terms of service, though? Because doesn't he call to hurt Trump supporters?
Yeah.
Should we
Guys
play
are
it?
smarter than girls. You got some serious problems. That's what frustrates me. There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand.
Oh my gosh!
the way the world
We
works.
disagree with that wholeheartedly. You should never hurt anybody.
Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the deans hearing that I said that.
Wow! And then he said, "Scratch that on the recording." What a bitch-ass teacher, knowing that things, you know, it's all on record, it's all on camera, and he's still going to say that. I mean, this is the type of indoctrination that's happening in these colleges, and that's why I encourage young people that unless you're like playing a sport or you have some specialty field, like you have to be a doctor or a lawyer or something, I don't know. I mean, you could literally go to Princeton and graduate and end up working for a freak like me. So if that tells you about job prospects out there in the real world, there's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of them. Jimmy, isn't that true? Did you have a lot of Princeton colleagues that graduated with you and are out of work?
Not really.
None? You have none that graduated with you that are a bum? None that died of a drug overdose or anything?
Not really, but I also didn't hang out with the druggies. They wouldn't invite me to parties. I was too lame.
Were there people doing a lot of drugs at Princeton? I mean, there had to be.
Yeah, but like they literally kept it away from me because I was the sheltered Christian kid. I literally didn't see drugs until my last week of school.
Did you have any friends in college, Jimmy? I mean,
like 3.
Like you were on the football team. So
I was.
So you had to have friends on the team, obviously.
Yeah.
But what about like non-football friends? Like,
I actually was closer with my non-athlete roommates, like the people you get randomly paired with freshman year.
Wait, time out. So your best friends became, and then Vince, your best friend now, you met on Craigslist. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
So your best friends in college were the ones that the school assigned you to bunk with on the first day of classes.
Yeah, it's where we lived in an 8-person suite. It was just a biohazard.
Wait, time out. How does that? I have to tell you, have 8-person suite because I get a 4-person suite. There's like 2 in each room, so it was like 4 rooms with 2 in each room. Is that how it works? Is that why it's 8-person?
It was 6 rooms, 4 singles, 2 doubles.
And did you have a double room?
We traded off by semester. I started in a single, then went to a double.
Well, why would it would suck? Did you pay the same and have to be in a double? That would suck because if you're in a double,
well, that's why we switched semesters. Everyone who was in a double then went to a single the second semester.
And you'd have to move all your junk.
Yeah,
though?
that part sucked, but it was fair. So
See, I don't play by the rules. I would not. I would get the single, then it was my time to do the double. I would hurt my leg or something, and I'd be like, I can't go into the single because I'm a diva, and working with divas is a blessing. Isn't that right, Jimmy? Did you learn that?
Yeah, no, from that, divas are the best. They're demanding. They require excellence. Yes.
And that's why they're good for companies, so that's why everybody here needs to know. And did you see before the show, we got into a little hot water because our set was a mess. Did you notice that? Chelsea calling our set dirty.
I mean, that's like calling water is wet. It's not a new thing. I think she was just commenting on it.
Well, I think you should. Do you have a housekeeper at your house?
I do. Her name's Alma, and she's wonderful.
Okay, well, can you just pay Alma to come to the set and clean it up after the show? I don't know why that would be that hard to do.
You're right. That's on me. I'll hit her up.
Please hit up Alma, and I will pay for none of that. I will pay for
none of it? Okay.
And does she doesn't have a criminal record. Is she legal? Because they won't let her in the building if she's illegal.
I genuinely don't know. She accepts checks, so she has a bank account.
Okay, well, can you get a bank account without a Social Security? Now they have all those like PayPal bank accounts. I got all these fuddy-duddy bank accounts. I feel like there are ways to defraud, even if you don't have a social. You know, I had to give him a social. I got a switch over to Verizon from AT&T, and I had to give him my social. And I asked the guy, I was like, "How do illegal immigrants get phones?" And he's like, "There used to be a workaround." He said right now they don't, so they have to go buy like a prepaid. They
really?
Can't. Yeah, he said. So he basically just said the only difference is they can still get service, but they can't take a loan out for a phone. Like, you know, you can pay for your iPhone for months or whatever. You can't do that. So they have to buy a prepaid and then pay for the cash. But they can still get an account. He just said they can't do what I'm doing because I'm paying. I'm getting the new iPhone 16. What do you think about that? I'm going to be a content machine. What do you think about that?
That's pretty badass. What are the features that make it better?
There's none. It's actually a little bit worse than the 15. But I'm getting $1,000 trade-in on my old iPhone, so it ends up being cheaper. Oh, and we got to talk about this next week. Tell them what's happening next week.
I mean, do we want to give it away? We don't want to get too much.
Oh, not Tuesday. I'm saying tell them about your vacation that I granted you because I'm so gracious.
Oh, yes. So Alex is going to Dan Ball's bachelor party and wedding.
At Mar-a-Lago.
At Mar-a-Lago. It's going to be pretty
Donald
badass.
Trump's supposed to be there. I don't know. That's the rumor. I don't know if that's true, but that's the rumor.
He's marrying Peyton Drew, who's very lovely.
It's very lovely, very nice. Peyton's a very good friend of mine, and I know she's a little stressed about the wedding. They were stressed about the hurricane, but it's all fine. Mar-a-Lago's fine, so the wedding's on. No cancellation. No.
That's wonderful.
So
yeah, that's a good point. That's bad timing.
They were worried.
This weekend.
Yeah, and there was like a tornadoes off the coast of Palm Beach somehow. How is your family fine? Was Jacksonville hit very hard? We didn't even get into
not super hard. They're actually, my parents flew here this week, and they're here right now because.
So they evacuated?
No, because they're way north. But a lot of my family in Tampa, they were supposed to evacuate, but they just stayed home because Floridians just don't care. You get numb to hurricanes. It's very strange.
You're talking about the cousin that is with friends with Lieutenant Dan?
Yeah. He literally lives like walking distance from Lieutenant Dan and kept going to check on him.
He didn't get us any content, so you're fired.
Well, he said he literally sealed himself in, but he waved.
Oh, and Jimmy, you are seriously fired. When we played the clip at the beginning of the show, notice that you didn't play any of the burns that the guy did on you. Did you notice that? I thought
you firing me was the best burn of all.
You thought that was didn't he have some good jokes though?
Oh, he had great jokes. I was more for time because people love to see you and a large group of people boo me.
I don't know. I think they would have liked to see that guy make fun of you.
How about this? I can post the full thing.
Yeah, we'll post the full thing. Yeah, we're gonna
maybe that can be like a Blaze TV, and then we post it later, or while you're off next week. So
we'll post it. Yeah.
So we have a show Tuesday. Tuesday will be a huge show. You don't want to miss. We got a big guest.
It's going to be one of our biggest shows on Tuesday.
But then Wednesday and Thursday we're off, and then there was something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, let's do this Blaze Unlimited before I forget.
Oh yeah, before we forget, guys, I've got something exciting to share with you. They say nobody reads anymore, but that's not true for our audience. Our best ideas are still captured in print, which is why we're launching a premium quarterly magazine called Frontier. Frontier is packed with thoughtful commentary, stunning photography, and original journalism that showcases those who refuse to back down. This isn't just a magazine, guys. It's a statement. But Frontier is just the beginning. With our new Blaze Unlimited membership, you'll get exclusive behind-the-scenes content, VIP event access, and the opportunity to have your voice heard. We want you to help shape the future of Blaze Media and push back against the mainstream machine that tries to silence truth. If you're ready to join the mission to defend free speech, go to blazeunlimited.com/primetime to claim your spot. Founding member spots are limited, so do not wait. Go right now. Let's stand together and keep the spirit of America alive. Alive, not just live, America alive. We need to keep this country going, okay? We need to keep that spirit alive. The best way is by going and joining Blaze Unlimited today. We're just getting started, baby. And what is that website again, Jimmy? One more time.
blazeunlimited.com/primetime.
And you get a cool card. Have you signed up? Will you sign up under my name and you pay for it, Jimmy, so I can get that card?
I got it. I can do that.
Because we need that for content purposes.
I'm going to order some of that meat, too. That actually
Farmer
looked good.
Bills. Go to order some chili bison right now. Put the Farmer Bills ad up one more time if you can. I don't know if you have it, George. Just put that graphic up.
A-block,
go, whatever. It's at, go try some of this. Yeah. Go to farmerbillsprovision.com. Use that. You have to use the promo code Alex, folks. And I want somebody to make a video trying the spicy chili bison. That sounds insane, delicious, crazy. I need all the chat rats to eat it. Do not eat the wires of your computer anymore. Switch and eat some chili, spicy chili. Got it. La, 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 la. I love spicy chili tofu.
Hey, Alex, I have an idea to kill the last couple minutes.
Yes, what is it?
So we have that guy's phone number, the KU professor, if you want to call him.
Oh, yeah, let's
nice
call
message.
him real quick.
We have to look up whatever the area code is for wherever Kansas is, because it only shows the last
What town
7.
is that? What is it? Lawrence, Kansas?
I think so. Let me look it up, actually.
Yeah, I know it's in Lawrence. I'm pretty sure. Lawrence area code. I mean, he's KU, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 785, so text me the rest.
Well, it was tweeted. If you want to pull up full screen 11.
Well, we don't want to dox him.
No, it's on Twitter.
Okay,
it's publicly available information.
Oh, yeah, it's his like office
it's his
line.
university.
Okay.
And the thing is hilarious. Like I thought that was a joke. His real email is plowcock@KU.
I know. Is that his last name? Something weird like that?
It's Phil Lowcock.
So he's Plowcock. You know that he's like so horny and says all these nasty jokes for that every year. He's like, when you guys email me, it says, I don't know what the hell joke he says, but you know he says something. Hold on. So his name's Lowcock? That's a weird ass name.
Yeah.
Maybe they took his number away. It's not ringing. Oh, come on. It's not even ring-a-ding-dinging. Come on. Oh, my gosh. Mr. Lowcock. Let me hang up. Let me try one more time. Wow. Jimmy, I'm really excited. No, that's not the right area code. Oh, okay. I dialed the wrong area code. Hold on. What is it? 8. All right. Let's see if this works. Of course, I always type in the wrong damn area code.
Lowcock, Philip W. is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the tone. When you have finished, please hang up or press the pound key for more options.
Yeah, this is for Professor Littlecock. My name's Primetime99 Alex Stein, and I'm one of those people that you think should be shot. You're disgusting. You're bald. You're ugly. You're also retarded because you did that all on tape, okay? And now you're busted, and now you're going to be in trouble. And guess what? I'm going to enroll in that university. I'm going to go to school there. I'm going to get a college scholarship, and I'm going to win a national championship for your school. And you know what? You're not going to be a part of that great tradition that I'm going to create at your school because I'm not a bitch ass like your dumbass, Mr. Lilcock. So, fuck you. Is he married, Jimmy?
Probably not.
Fuck your husband and fuck his boyfriend. But all peace and love for the YouTube censors. We love you. Peace and good night. All right, guys, that's been our show. I feel like, is there anything else? I guess we're going to be able to talk to him Tuesday and tell him about our week off. We're not going to be here on Wednesday and Thursday, but Tuesday should be our biggest episode ever. Thank you to Jimmy Dore. Thank you to Jimmy. Thank you to Paige. Oh, I guess I got to do this too before we leave, guys. I just want to say I didn't eat any of this cake, and I made my baby so sad. So here, let's get that camera, guys. Let's end the show the way we ended every time with that freestyle finale. So DJ, hit that beat while I eat this cake. Ooh. AOC on my cake. Know that shit ain't fake. Look at my face, I'm so damn happy. No, I'm not Isaac Cappy. No, I didn't get killed for calling Tom Hanks out for being a pedophile. Eat the cake. Eat the cake. Oh, the ice cream cake gave me so good. I'm so happy you're getting of it. All right, guys, I'll see you on Tuesday. I love you all. Peace and good night.